Hey y'all, tonight I'm going to make some macaroni and cheese for supper. Now, it's actually not going to be macaroni and cheese because I'm going to use Linguine. And the reason I'm going to use Linguine is because the macaroni that this brand had was so small. I really don't like small macaroni. I like the large, the jumbo elbow mac. But anyway, the reason I bought this is because my friend over at Betsy's Kitchen was explaining on a video she made a few days ago. She was explaining different kinds of pastas. Some of them are better for you than others, and some of them are directly imported from Italy, while some of them were manufactured here. Now, not that the ones that are manufactured here are bad, but you do probably get more protein in the ones that are manufactured in Italy, and the lighter the color pasta, the better they are for you too. This one is bronze cut. You probably can't tell on the video. It looks yellower on my screen than it does here in person, but the bronze cut slow drying is what you need to look for. That probably means that it was manufactured and imported from Italy, and it might cost a little bit more, but it's probably going to be, like I said, higher in protein. This one has 8 grams of protein per serving, which is a good bit because there are 8 servings in this box. 1/8 of a pound of this kind of pasta has 8 grams of protein. That's a good bit. Okay, enough about that. I'm going to get this boiled, and then I'm going to drain it and add the rest of my ingredients to make a linguine and cheese to go with the rest of our supper tonight. Now y'all know I'm lazy. So I'm using the same pot that I boiled that linguine in to stir all the ingredients in before I put it in my casserole dish. I mean, why mess up something else? I'm gonna use a whole stick of butter. And I'm putting it in with that hot pasta, and while that has a chance to soften and melt, I'm gonna go ahead and add some salt. I did salt my pasta water, but I think it never hurts to add a little more salt to your pasta. I probably put in about a 1/2 teaspoon. When I was growing up, my mom always made spaghetti and cheese. She called it macaroni and cheese, but she used spaghetti. And I guess that's the reason why when I grabbed this linguine this afternoon at the grocery store, it just seemed right. It's okay that those elbows were too small for my liking. I think this linguine is gonna be great. One thing my mother never did do was add Gouda to her spaghetti and cheese. She always used Velveeta, and we didn't have Velveeta shreds. She used 1/2 a loaf of Velveeta, and it was delicious. But I have discovered Gouda cheese and how great it melts, and it is just so good in macaroni and cheese, or in this case, linguine and cheese. I put about a cup of Gouda and about a cup of shredded Velveeta, and my butter is just about melted. So I'll go ahead and add some 1/2 and 1/2. My mom always used evaporated milk. That's probably because that's what she had. Back when I was a child, evaporated milk I think was used a lot more than it is now. You know, it's canned milk. I'm not talking about sweetened condensed milk, just canned evaporated milk. But using 1/2 and 1/2 adds even more richness and flavor. So I just added about a 1/2 cup. But at this stage, I'll go ahead and add this to my casserole dish. Now, as I said, I'm gonna add a little more milk, probably another 1/2 cup or so. Pasta really does absorb liquid, and we don't want it to dry out while it's in the oven. I'm gonna add the rest of that bag of Velveeta shreds to the top. And I may even add some cheddar cheese before it's all said and done, but I am gonna go ahead and put this in the oven on 350 degrees, and after about 30 minutes, if that Velveeta has disappeared down into that linguine, I'll probably top it with some cheddar to finish it off. I didn't end up adding any cheddar cheese to the top. One of the downsides to using pre-shredded cheese, you probably already know, is that because it has those anti-caking agents on it, like flour, it tends to not be as creamy as the original product. You know, I told you my mother used Velveeta, the loaf of Velveeta, whenever I was growing up to make macaroni and cheese. They didn't have Velveeta shreds. I have a feeling to this day, if she were still making macaroni and cheese, she'd still use the loaf. Because see, it does look a little bit dried out on top. I think it's still gonna be delicious. I'll let you know. Still creamy and still delicious. And Betsy, I think you're right. I can tell a difference in that pasta. It cost $1.50 more, but it's worth it. You've made a convert out of me. Okay, y'all, go have a good day.